What's up, guys? Welcome back to another bite-sized battle report with the 2 Plus podcast. This is going to be a 1K battle report, so 1,000 points. It's over in a flash, and this video probably will be too. But let's get stuck in.
Become a member and support the channel. Old World Tactics, Battle Reports, the 2 Plus podcast.
All right, guys, today I'm going to run through a battle report from a game I had against Mike, friend of the pod. This is a 1,000 point battle report between my Nomadic Waaagh list and his Heralds of Darkness. You can see his heralds at the top, so I'll run through his list there. He has a Chaos Lord on a Daemonic mount, 10 Marauder Horsemen with Javelins, a Chosen Chariot, 4 Chosen Knights, and 5 Chaos Knights. His Chaos Lord was pretty beefy, about 350 points or so. Bedazzling Helm, Aura of Pain, so chunky, but we weren't using the 25% character cap that we normally do with 1K games. So he wanted to test this out, and I had a Wyvern, so we thought we'd match it. My Nomadic Waaagh down the bottom, left to right, is a Goblin Wolf Chariot, 5 Frenzied Boar Boys with Vanguard, a Black Orc on a Wyvern, a Black Orc Chariot, and 7 regular Boar Boys with all the trimmings. I think Banner of Butchery, Biggins, all that kind of stuff to make them strength 6. We both had Vanguarding units, but I also had 5 Goblin Wolf Riders in Ambusher with the Ambusher rule. Anyone who's watched this channel knows I'm big on ambushes, particularly with fast-moving cav. If they can shoot, even better. If they have combat res, even better. And they do their thing again, and there's another battle report coming out proving that they're worth it. So stay tuned for that one. But this is how the Vanguard moves happen. So I Vanguarded first, just chucked them straight forward. Mike went second. It's the Banner of the Baying Hound, I think it's called, on his Chaos Knights. So we both Vanguarded forward, rolled off. I rolled a 5, so I went first, meaning I get to declare a charge on him. My guys had countercharge. They were going to countercharge. I was always going to just fight these guys. So knowing that he didn't have countercharge on his Chaos Knights, this was just a roll-off to see who got initiative on the charge. I won, so I was able to declare a charge first. But let's get into the rest of the movement. You can see here the charge happens. He flees like the coward he is. Loves a tactical flee, old Mike, and that bites him in the ass later, which we'll see. I just march everything else up. I tried to move my Boar Boys up here to kind of open up a contingency plan if my front attack fails, and I try and bait this charge out of the Chosen Chariot. But all in all, I'm playing orcs and goblins, I suppose, and I'm being aggressive. Just shove it in their face. It's a 1,000 point game. I want to roll some dice and fight some stuff, and this is how I was going to do it. The flee was a good result for me, but I presumed he would be able to rally these guys, so it turned out not to be a result, but these guys a good result, but these guys are frenzied, so I had to do it anyway. This sets them up terribly for a charge against some Chosen Knights, which they're not in good stead to fight against. So you can see here, this is the bait of my Wyvern. I left this at the edge of his charge. So giving Mike the option of rolling a 6 on 2 dice, and then he would be charging my Wyvern, which would be a good result for him. He also gets to re-roll 1s, being Heralds of Darkness, I believe. Mike takes the bait, fails his charge, and you can see he moves a good 4 inches or so, which is the distance of his charge roll, which is a good little tactic for anything that doesn't have Swift Stride, forcing someone that decision, whether they think they can roll a 6 or not. I was in pretty good stead to cop that charge and then maybe turn the combat countercharge next turn with my Chariot. So I was just dangling it out, knowing that Mike, in the spirit of this game and Mike being Mike, he'd want to charge. So I left it there. He failed, leaving up a perfect opportunity for my next turn to flip the momentum and charge him, even though it has countercharge. You can see here, though, my poor old Frenzy Board Boys got charged straight up by the Chosen Knights, which is bad times for them. This is how that combat unfolds. So he kills only 3, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he only manages to kill 3. I don't know how that happened with a 5 up, 6 up. I think I made a couple ward saves, to be honest, with War Paint. But he rolled pretty badly on the hits. But they were also in range of my general, which is another reason to kind of full send in support to give them the better leadership of Leadership 9, meaning they are able to fall back in good order. Now, this is an example of what I was going to do with my fallback in good order. And I got this far through and I was like, oh, wait, having a look at this battlefield here and my support cast that's coming up behind it, I felt like there was something I would be able to do with the maneuver of fallback in good order to redirect his knights so I could either support charge or charge around them. So this is how the fallback in good order ends up going. I fall back in good order in a straight line and then pivot on the spot. That might look like a wheel, but you'll see in a tactics video that's coming out soon. I explain this in a bit better detail. That pivot changes their facing of the knights. They close the door on my boar boys, which creates a potential flank charge here and an avenue for the chariot to get down and dirty and escape the arc of these guys. The chosen knights are going to win the next combat. There's no doubt about that. So I leave him with the choice of wiping them out and then facing my boar boys who can hold their own against these guys, or at least allowing my chariot to get around them and not getting caught up by an overrunning chosen knight unit. So this is the end of Mike's turn. This is how it all ended up. He marched everything forward, had a couple pot shots on my chariot, did a wound or two there. I think that was it. You can see the failed charge there, the new facing of the chosen knights, and his Chaos Lord ready to pounce after I, no doubt, flip the aggression. This is a massive learning curve for me. 7 wide is hard to maneuver. 7 cavalry wide. I get stuck with these guys not doing anything the whole game because they're too wide and they get stuck behind all my stuff. But you can see here, it's Charge City. So this new facing allows my chariot to charge the chosen chariot here, allowing it to wheel through. He countercharges, and we have a good old chariot off in the middle there. The Wyvern can see the Marauders, and the chariot can see the Marauders. They both charge the Marauders. He holds or stands and shoot. I can't remember if Javelins have quick shot, but nonetheless holds. And my boar boys, having been stuck behind all my stuff, I kind of just reform them a little bit to try and get them into action the turn after. But again, I kind of fail that. So this is the chariot off, which I was very excited for, which we'll get to in a second, but it is a Black Orc chariot that has Furious Charge and choppers and great weapons against a chosen chariot with 2 chosen on top with halberds. Same toughness, same armor save, very evenly matched, about the same points. I think I also have a banner in there, but I was excited for this matchup. I could have chosen to charge into these knights and just turn that combat, but I kind of wanted a bit of fun. So I ended up charging the chariot. And my sweet ambushes, turn 2, baby. Ever since I made that video about ambushes being good, they've turned up on turn 2. But besides the point, I believe if they're turn 3 or turn 4, they can still do something. And even a small unit of 5 Wolf Riders, incredible support, because that is close order because of Nomadic Waaagh, a banner, and the Red Raggedy Flag. So 3 combat res on top of a rear charge potential. If this ends up being a stalemate, they will definitely flip that combat in my favor. So they come on at the back of the board, ready to help out. And this is how the combats unfold. My chariot wipes out the chosen chariot. My impact hits did better than his, essentially what it came down to. I think the great weapons were also a little bit better than the halberds. But the weapon skill 5 versus weapon skill 4 of my orcs wasn't enough to save the chariot. So he does 1 or 2 wounds to me, and I wipe out his chariot in 1 turn. In the combat over here, his Marauders actually kill my Goblin Wolf chariot, which was surprising. But my Wyvern does a lot of damage. I end up killing 7 of his Marauders, which is a crushing victory for me, essentially. And he flees. He breaks, he flees, and he rolls a 12 on the dice, sending him off the board, which was fine. Like, they were done in my eyes anyway. It didn't matter, but it was a funny 12. I forgot to mention as well, Mike's Chaos Knights never came back. They failed their rally test. and didn't have a re-roll option, were out of range of the general of leadership 9, rolled like a 10 or something on the rally test, and then fled off the board. So there's a little early aggression advantage for me for pushing the issue. But let's get back into it. So this is Mike's reaction. His chosen knights won that combat against the remaining 2 boar boys. They are able to reform and align a charge into my Wyvern, and the Chaos Lord also charges my Wyvern. You can see I overran, or no, I just reformed with my Black Orc Chariot, knowing that I was going to need some rear support after that. And you can see that here as well with my Wolf Riders moving up. They're 18 inches to put them in a position to help turn the tide in this combat as well. So this is a bit of a stalemate. I challenge against the Chaos Lord. They whiff a bit, and I think they do 1 wound each. He has a flank charge, close order. I have 1 and a wound, and I have a wound in close order. He wins by 1. I think I give ground in this scenario, which is perfect for me because they stay put, allowing my reinforcements to come and help out. And that's what they do. So the Wolf Riders end up charging the flank. The Chariot ends up charging the flank. They only manage to kill 3 of these chosen knights. These guys have another challenge off, and I don't think they do a whole lot. Surprisingly, Aura of Pain was the thing that does another wound to the Wyvern. Those no armor save items turning out to be pretty handy. But the combat res provided from these guys is huge. So as I said, they provide 5 with a rear charge. Then they do a wound. Close order, I can't remember if double close order stacks. It ended up being I won by a good 8 or 9 with all the bonuses that I got there, which double outnumbering these guys means they can't fall back in good order, and a fallback into order roll would result in a break test. Sorry, a flee, and that is exactly what happens. His chosen break and flee away from my highest unit strength, which is these 8, which goes this way. He fails a peril test, that dies. The Chaos Lord breaks and flees, flies over, moves through there, and I catch him with my Wyvern, and that is the game. And this was about 50 minutes, I reckon, and it was a great way to finish the night. We played a 2,000 point battle before this, and then this was a bit of a cleanser of the palate afterwards. So 1,000 point battles, still a lot of legs in my eyes, in Alex's eyes as well, and really just very enjoyable. There was a lot of fighting, a lot of dice rolled, a lot of combat, low stress, low fuss, and just an enjoyable, 45 minutes to an hour. Once you have the rules down pat, it really flies. So I highly recommend it. And if you're playing 1,000 point games, I'd love to know how they're going. So let us know in the comments. And if you haven't already, liking, commenting, subscribing still goes a long way with this channel. So if you have the time, please do. And we will see you for the next battle report. Thanks, guys.